The 2019 NLCS is about to start today, later tonight, and we have got a great series in store for you. You've got the Washington Nationals, who defeated the Los Angeles Dodgers, the mighty LA Dodgers, 106 wins, going up against the St. Louis Cardinals, who it feels like everyone doubted in the NLDS. Myself included. I mean, hey, I thought the Braves were going to beat them. I've been wrong before. I'm going to be wrong again. It's going to happen. But the Cardinals had a really good NLDS, and they're showing that, hey, they can make a run for the World Series. So in today's video, I'm going to go through position by position, telling you who I think has the advantage on paper, who in my eyes has the better player at each position, and then I'm going to go ahead and give you my prediction as to who's going to win the NLCS in 2019 and move on to the World Series as the National League representative. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like on it. That's the best way to show your support. Subscribe if you're new and you enjoy the content. If you love baseball, click that sub button, join the team. Remember to get in the comment section down below. Give me your predictions as to who is going to win the NLCS. Tell me who you think is going to win, how many games, and I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Auction of Champions. Auction of Champions is a sports memorabilia auction house where you can bid on autographed jerseys, balls, helmets, anything you can imagine from your favorite sports teams and players. And today I've teamed up with Auction of Champions to give away 2 signed baseballs. We've got a Ronald Acuna signed baseball and an Aroldis Chapman signed baseball. So if you guys want to have a chance to win one of these baseballs for free, here's what you need to do. Go to the Auction of Champions website, linked in the description, and register for free to their website. When you get down to the bottom, let them know that you came from my YouTube channel, GiraffeNeckMarc, and you'll automatically be entered into both giveaways for the baseballs. The winner of the giveaways will be announced at the end of the postseason in one of my videos, so make sure you're subscribed to make sure you don't miss out to know if you won. So I feel like the first place that you have to start off with any matchup in the playoffs, we have to talk about the pitching. We're going to break it up starting and relief. For the St. Louis Cardinals, they have a strong starting rotation. It may not be the best, but they have a lot of good arms. They're going to be rocking with 4 starting pitchers. They're going Miles Mikolas game 1, Adam Wainwright game 2, Jack Flaherty game 3, and Dakota Hudson for game 4. Strong starting rotation. Jack Flaherty is definitely the ace of that team. He showed in the second half that he can be a top starting pitcher in the game. He was nasty. Miles Mikolas has been consistent. He's shown in the past as well that he can get the job done. Adam Wainwright in the playoffs, this guy gets onto another level. You thought you were maybe seeing the end of Adam Wainwright's career, but in the NLDS against the Atlanta Braves, he put together a magical performance, pitched beautifully against them. And Dakota Hudson is a strong arm in their rotation as well. For the Washington Nationals, I mean, it's loaded. Max Scherzer, probably the best pitcher in the game of baseball. The last few years, he's won multiple Cy Youngs. He's filthy. He's disgusting. Anibal Sanchez starting off game 1. He may not be the ace, but he put together a really strong performance in the NLDS against the Dodgers. Steven Strasburg in the playoffs is a beast. He had a great 2019 season. He's a really good pitcher. And Patrick Corbin with that left-handed nasty slider, he's a really good pitcher as well. You might see him a little bit more out of the pen than as a starter in the postseason, but Patrick Corbin's still probably going to get a start in this series. And overall, I think I have to give the starting rotation edge to the Washington Nationals. It's really hard to pick against Max Scherzer, Steven Strasburg, Corbin, Anibal Sanchez. It's not that the Cardinals starting rotation is weak. I think the pitching part is probably their strongest part of their team. It's just that you're going up against one of the better starting rotations all of baseball in the Washington Nationals, who just took down the Los Angeles Dodgers, the best team in the National League during the regular season. On the bullpen side, there is a clear and absolute winner here. I don't really even need to go too in-depth on this. It's the St. Louis Cardinals, because let's be honest, the Nationals bullpen is so absolutely terrible, and the Cardinals probably have one of the best bullpens in the National League, if not the best. The Nationals bullpen, bad. I mean, so bad that pretty much you can expect starters to be the first guys out of the bullpen when they're going to it. Besides Daniel Hudson and Sean Doolittle, there really are not anybody else that they can rely on in that bullpen. Hunter Strickland has been shaky. Wander Suero has been shaky. Whereas for the Cardinals, they have a lot of good arms in a lot of different scenarios. They got Andrew Miller, who, let's be honest, in the playoffs is pretty solid. He's a devastating lefty. Lefty-lefty matchup. To get Juan Soto maybe in this series, it's going to be huge. Giovanni Gallegos has really good stuff out of the pen as well. Brebbia, Webb, even Carlos Martinez, who choked big time in the playoff series thus far. Those guys are just better than what the Nationals have, so the advantage there definitely goes to the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, lineup-wise, this is where it's a little more tricky. Starting off at the catcher position, you got Yadier Molina going up against the platoon of Kurt Suzuki and Yan Gomes. This is probably one of the few ones where I go against what the stats tell me. I'm gonna go with a hunch here, because statistically, Kurt Suzuki and Yan Gomes are better than Yadier Molina on his own. But in the playoffs, something happens with Yadi. He may not hit home runs, he may not hit doubles, he may not hit triples, he may not be driving in 6 runs a game. But the dude is clutch and he plays fantastic defense. That's something that's going to be big in the postseason, something to keep an eye out for. So I'm going to give the edge here to Yadier Molina and the St. Louis Cardinals at the catcher's position. At first base for the Nationals, you got Howie Kendrick, Ryan Zimmerman, and I guess technically Matt Adams, although we really haven't seen him much, going up against Paul Goldschmidt. This one I'm going to also give to the St. Louis Cardinals here. Paul Goldschmidt had a great NLDS. We know he's a really good player. Slow season in 2019 for the Cardinals, but he's too good of a player, and I don't think his stats in 2019 really indicate how good he really is. Like a 260 average and an 820 OPS, that's not the kind of guy he plays like, and I can't pick against Paul Goldschmidt there. So the Cardinals get first base as well. Second base, we got Colton Wong going up against Howie Kendrick, because I think Kendrick's going to be playing mostly second second base this series. We saw him at first, it wasn't great. This one, I'm going to go with Howie Kendrick of the Washington Nationals. He's kind of one of the most underrated players in the 2019 season. He had a really good year being a platoon bench bat. In just over 300 at-bats, he had 17 homers, 23 doubles, and a triple with 62 RBIs. Hit 344 with an almost 400 on-base percentage, slugging percentage approaching 600, and an OPS at 966. Those offensive numbers are crazy good, and I know Colton Wong is technically this Gold Glove fielder at second base, but we've seen him have troubles before in the playoffs in the past, so I don't think his defense can really overcome how much better offensively Howie Kendrick is than him. Shortstop for the Cardinals, we got Paul DeJong, who you guys know is an absolute Met killer. I talk about him all the time. I think he's a really good young player. Going up against Trey Turner, who again is one of these players who I don't think gets enough credit in baseball. I think he's so very good. As much as I think Paul DeJong has a chance to go off in the playoffs because we've seen the kind of power he has, he's a very good fielder at short. I've got to go with Trey Turner on this one. Trey Turner is so pesky. He is so good when he gets on base. He makes a huge impact in the game. Great leadoff hitter. I think he's really good up there. Doesn't strike out a whole lot. Puts the ball in play. Will take it to all fields. When he gets on first, he's pretty much turning into a double automatically. The dude is crazy fast. He's going to steal a ton of bases. It'll be interesting to see him versus Yachty in this series, definitely. He's got some pop in his bat. I mean, 37 doubles this year, 19 homers, in a little over 500 at-bats. That's pretty solid. So I'm going to give the advantage here to the Washington Nationals with Trey Turner over Paul DeJong. DeJong just had a really rough year this year. If he stayed hot like he did at the beginning, I think he's my choice, but he got cold. Trey Turner. Third base, this one's very easy. It's Anthony Rendon versus Matt Carpenter. Matt Carpenter's just not the player he used to be. Terribly low average, not even that high of an on-base percentage anymore. Slugging percentage is like gone, under 400. He did not have a good year. Going up against Anthony Rendon, who is a National League MVP candidate, who's one of the best third basemen in the game. He's disgusting. He's so good. You know how many times I'm going to tell you he's the most underrated player in baseball. This one's probably the easiest pick of the entire whole video today. I'm picking Anthony Rendon at third base over anybody who's playing for the Cardinals at third base at any position. I don't care. Anthony Rendon's probably the best player on the field offensively in this series. Moving on to the outfield now, we'll start off in left field where we got Juan Soto of the Washington Nationals going up against Marcell Ozuna of the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, Ozuna had a really good NLDS. He was hitting a lot better than we had seen in the regular season. He had some more pop in his bat. He was definitely hot, but he doesn't beat Juan Soto for me. You guys know there's two guys on the Nationals that I stand big time, and that's going to be Anthony Rendon and Juan Soto. I'm a Mets fan, but I can respect how good those guys are as players. You ain't beating Juan Soto out in left field. Defensively, they're basically the same. Marcell Ozuna can't really throw the ball anymore because of his shoulder. Juan Soto's not great out there in the corner outfield. Like, he's no Gold Glover. And then on the offensive side, I mean, Juan Soto. It's just Juan Soto. It's 20-year-old season, 34 homers, 32 doubles, a couple triples, 100 plus RBIs, hitting almost 300, on base 400, slugging right around 550, OPS in the 950s. He doesn't swing at bad pitches. He gets on base. He makes the impact every single time he steps up to the dish. Juan Soto is the choice there for the Nationals. Center field for the Nats, we got a little bit of Michael A. Taylor, maybe Victor Robles if he's feeling a little bit up to it, going up against Dexter Fowler, who's been playing the majority of center field for the Cardinals in the playoffs. Dexter Fowler's just not very good. It's not that Michael A. Taylor and a hurt Victor Robles is much better, but Dexter Fowler isn't that good of a player. Defensively, he'll cover a lot of ground out there for you in center field, but he doesn't offer much at the plate. He barely hit in the NLDS, and it felt like everybody for the Cardinals was hitting. I mean, that last game put up some big numbers. Dexter Fowler's just not very good. I know I said Fowler covers a lot of ground, but Taylor and Robles probably cover even a little bit more. They are great center fielders out there in the outfield for the Nationals. So even if it's just a defensive thing, they offer more than Dexter Fowler does, and I think at the plate they offer more too. They weren't hitting incredibly well during the playoffs, but I think they have more of a potential to make an impact because they can run the bases, they got great arms, they can obviously cover a lot of field. Now the outfield, I just think that they offer more to give to that Nationals team than Dexter Fowler does, so I'm going with the Nationals with the advantage there. And then in right field, we got Adam Eaton of the Washington Nationals going up against Tommy Edman of the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm going to give the advantage here to Tommy Edman and the St. Louis Cardinals. He had a fantastic NLDS. He had a really good rookie season for the Cardinals. He's not even really an outfielder. That's where Adam Eaton definitely has the advantage there. But as an overall player, I like Tommy Edman a lot. The dude's like a scrappy player. I think he's really good. He can drive the ball as well. Adam Eaton does a perfect job for what the Nationals need him to do. Be that guy who hits two, move Trey Turner over, get on base, slap the ball to the other field, move the runners over. But I think Tommy Edman definitely is going to have more of an impact, and I think has a bigger chance to do more for the Cardinals than Adam Eaton really does for the Nationals. So I'm going to pick Edman and the Cardinals for the advantage here. So after going through every position, after going through the pitching, the bullpen, all the hitters, here's what I think the series is going to look like. I think we're going to get a really good series as a fan of baseball. I think it's going to be tight all the way throughout. I think every game is going to be close, coming down to the wire, coming down to the last inning. But in my opinion, there's one team that I feel like is the clear better team in this series, and that's going to be the Washington Nationals. So I have the Nationals winning in 6 games, 4-2 over the St. Louis Cardinals, moving on to the World Series as the National League wildcard team. No one thought the Nationals were going to make it to the World Series, let alone pass the Los Angeles Dodgers in the NLDS. I think they take that huge high of beating the best team in the National League and they ride it all the way to the top. They're going to the World Series, playing whoever wins the ALCS and the American League, which you'll see in a video tomorrow. Oh yeah, and for NLCS MVP, I gotta go with my boy Anthony Rendon. How do you pick against him? I would love to know your guys' predictions as to who you think is gonna win the NLCS. Do you got the Cardinals? Do you got the Nationals? How many games? Who's gonna be the MVP? Let me know all your predictions down in the comment section below. Remember to leave a like on this video if you did enjoy it, as well as subscribe to the channel if you're new and you enjoy baseball content, you want to see more of it. Click that sub button. Remember, I'm going to be streaming on Twitch during the postseason every single day as long as there's a game, so if you want to watch along with me in the Twitch chat, make sure to go over there and follow me on twitch.tv/GiraffeNeckMarc. Thank you so much for watching today's video, guys. You know the drill. YouTube recommends you watch this one right here, as well as this is my most recent upload, so click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you all for watching today's video, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another breakdown of the championship series, this time the American League.